I played Lieutenant Malcolm Reed on Enterprise, as you probably know, and you are listening to the NX 7062 podcast. Enjoy.
Hi, everybody. It is time for transmissions from the 7062. And yes, I know I will be changing the intro soon. I promise. Uncle Hairball. I'm so glad you're doing okay after 11 days without power. Things here have been good. Fortunately, being up in the Northeast, haven't really been hit too badly, except with a lot of rain, which is, just annoying, but definitely not like a lot of the other places in the country. So, and I do have even friends in Florida. So I'm glad you're doing well. And of course, I wish well for everybody that's possibly going to be suffering from bad weather. And welcome, Casbar. Is that Casbar? I hope I got it right. And Chris, thank you so much for bringing a friend. Everybody should bring a friend to become a member of the Chat Pack 7062. So Chris, thank you so much for inviting a friend. And Casbar, I hope this is just one of many times that you're able to hang out with us. At some point, what is it? Early-ish in the morning over in Oz, if I'm not mistaken. I also have a friend who lives in Sydney. I'm sorry if this is a little sluggish tonight. I've been having computer issues all day, knock on wood. She lasts for the rest of the night. I wish Magic Lasso was here. I'm sure he's going to show up, and I'm sure he might have something to say about my shirt. This is not, I repeat, not obviously a sci-fi shirt, but I bumped into a memory on Facebook yesterday about some of the time that I spent in Nashville. And this is the Ryman Auditorium, which is down. Yeah. Okay. 1 p.m. It's a little later than I thought. So this is a shirt. I can't bring a friend out. Oh, Hairball, where are all your friends? And all your friends are hanging out here. So you're in good company. Anyway, Ryman Auditorium. It's in downtown Nashville, just off of Broadway. It's an auditorium now. It used to be a church. It's an amazing place to hang out. And not all of you know this, but before this was Star Trek specific, I did a lot of podcasting that was just entertainment in general, which included inviting Magic Lasso and some of my other friends from country music to come on. And there were 4 of us having just this amazing chat about country music. So Facebook reminded me about that the other day. So I thought, in honor of my Facebook memories, I would wear my Ryman Auditorium t-shirt. And if Magic Lasso doesn't show up tonight, then he missed it. Oh, well, I'll have to catch it in reruns. So, as you noticed, there's no new intro. I've had a lot of stuff going on in my life the last couple of weeks, and pretty much everything, unfortunately, had to be put on the back burner, including the new intro, including finishing Prodigy, which, I didn't do as of last week, and I didn't have any time to catch up on it this week. But it could be a binge watch on the horizon. Probably not until I come back from LA, because I'm heading out to LA in a couple of weeks for the Hollywood show. I will be working the Hollywood show with John Billingsley. I'm representing him at the Hollywood show. It was always supposed to, it was always in the books. He's been invited for a while. We kind of firmed things up in August, but then he auditioned for something, and the life of a booking agent, and one of the difficult pieces of the life of a booking agent is if you book for a convention and your talent gets an acting gig, they're going to do the acting gig. So John just confirmed and that his schedule is open. So that's absolutely amazing. Hopefully whatever acting gig he got, next time he's on the show, we can talk about it, because of course he's going to be on the show at some point. But anyway, so I am leaving for LA in a couple of weeks. I'm really excited. But my focus has to be on getting ready for the show. So I don't know when the intro will be done, but I promise it will be. The other cool thing is that if everything works out the way I'm hoping to, cross fingers, I will be in Palm Springs for the week after the Hollywood show. So I can't wait for that. If you are in the LA/Burbank area, you should definitely consider heading out to the Hollywood show. It is October 18th and 19th. It is a huge autograph show. There are no panels. It is literally just an amazing room full of amazing people. I know Bill Mooney and Angela Cartwright are going to be there from Lost in Space. There are a ton of Star Trek celebrities that are going to be there. The one and only Barbara Luna is going to be there. I don't know if she's going to have a signing table at this particular show, but she actually works the show. So if she's there and you say hi to her, I'm sure she'd do a picture even if she's not signing. I am going to be there with John and a couple of other Enterprise alumni you may have heard of. Connor Trenier and Dominic Keating are their names. So it's going to be a little bit of an Enterprise reunion. Really excited about that. Plus just a lot of people from TOS and a few other shows. I don't have it in front of me. Otherwise, I would be reading you off the list. But if you head over to the Hollywood Shows website, you can check it out. It's an amazing show. And like I said, if you're in the LA area, feel like going to the LA area. It's at the Marriott at the Burbank Airport. Is literally right across the street from the airport. You could literally fly in for the weekend, grab your luggage, and walk across the street. It's that close. And the Burbank Airport's so cute. I would love to be able to fly in there one of these days if the ticket prices from Philly weren't so outrageous. But yeah, so that's where I'll be. And then hopefully if I am in Palm Springs, I will be broadcasting live at 7:00 my time because I'm going to be out on the West Coast. Maybe a special guest, maybe not. Haven't figured that out yet, but working on it. I have to firm up some more plans. But anyway, I am really excited about that. Let's see. What else have I got to say? Okay. So the other thing that Facebook brought to my attention was that the Manhattan Transfer Project is still a thing. It is going to be streaming. It is a fantastic show starring a lot of our Star Trek buddies, Bonnie Gordon, Dominic Keating, Doug Jones, Rico Anderson. They are all going to be doing it. It is a sci-fi show. Walter Koenig. How can I forget Walter Koenig? Walter Koenig's going to be doing it. It's going to be amazing. And that is a link to their Facebook page because they are doing a meet the cast of the show tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. So if you go to their Facebook page, you can reserve your spot and you can find out more about Manhattan Transfer, what it is. It's just this amazing sci-fi show with a lot of our favorite Star Trek alum. And it's definitely worth supporting because support indie films, support independent projects, and support all of our Star Trek buds. So just go follow the page and check them out. And if you have a chance tomorrow, some of us, unfortunately, will probably be working and in meetings. But if you're free, please check it out. Absolutely. One of these days, I'm also going to try and have at least one or two people from the project on to discuss it. So let's see. What else do we have going on? I thought there was something else. Oh, yeah. Okay. So it is already October 7th, believe it or not. In 3 weeks from tonight, I will be doing my annual Halloween show. We have tried... Yes, the kitty cat is phasing in and out. Usually y'all know that I always talk about Star Trek actors in Hollywood. I'm thinking Hollywood Kills. Anyway, in horror movies, which is a lot of fun. But of course, you all know I have very biased opinions about which Star Trek actors and what movies I watch for Halloween. So this year I've decided we're going to do a little twist. For the next couple of weeks, I am going to be going out all over social media and everywhere and asking all of you guys to give me your favorite Star Trek actors in a horror movie titles, whatever it is. It can be as cheesy as Night of the Lupus, which had DeForest Kelly in it, or something like Killer Spiders, which had giant Killer Spiders, which had Shatner in it. It could be something as iconic as Hellraisers 1 that had Andrew Robinson, or Hellraisers 3 that had Terry Farrell. Anything Jeff Combs did. I went to a Jeff Combs film retrospective over the summer, which was freaking amazing. So I have seen Jeff Combs in some very, very cool horror movies, which I will talk about at some other show. But yeah, that film retrospective was fantastic. So you're going to give me the names of some of your favorite Trek horror movies, and I will watch those, and then we can talk about those on Halloween. Just know I will be watching Hollywood Kills because I will always be watching Hollywood Kills, which, by the way, is now available for purchase on Amazon. I actually ended up having to buy the DVD because they stopped streaming it a while ago, but now you can either rent or own it. I think owning it is $4.99. I don't know if Dominic still gets any residuals from it. But anyway, it's such a cheesy movie, but his performance is fantastic. So I always recommend Hollywood Kills if you like really bad B horror movies. So there's some really good lines in it too. So that's going to be the new show in a couple of weeks. So just start to thinking, you don't even have to wait for me to post. If you got something, throw it in the chat, send me a DM on the socials, whatever you want to do, but give it a good long think. Okay. So time to talk about Starfleet Academy and all the little teeny tiny things that we know. I hope you guys are excited. I'm pretty excited. All right, Trip, if you step on a key, then you could end up like ending my show before the end. Okay. My tote should be, oh, Chris, that's fantastic. Chris ordered a tote. My totes, like I promised last week, by Tuesday it was up. But I now have totes, t-shirts, and coffee mugs all at my new NX7062 store. So if you want to get your chat pack 7062 on, head over to my store. I would really appreciate the support. Raymond only uses the best t-shirts. They are incredibly high quality, soft cotton t-shirts, tanks, fitted t-shirts. The coffee mugs are great. Of course they're great. I had a couple of them in Vegas that I brought home with me, and the bag is amazing. The bag is fantastic. The bag is great for conventions. Chris will talk about it after he uses it in Dallas, I'm sure, and take pictures of it too, because it's fantastic. I've used it since I came back from Vegas, because it's a great tote. So I absolutely hope you enjoy it. So let's see, Starfleet Academy. So there's not a lot going on. I actually delved into IMDb Pro just to see if there was any like behind the scenes stuff. A lot of the things that have been posted either cast members on IMDb, which of course is official. Random Red Shirt Podcast has had a lot to say. The one thing that I thought was interesting that they mentioned is that Robert Picardo, who we all know is returning. Thanks, Chris. Robert Picardo is returning as the Doctor. Now, 30 years have passed since he was the hologram on Voyager. So, but holograms don't age. So how are we doing this? Is he the Doctor hologram? Is he a descendant of the actual Doctor? Dr. Zimmerman? We don't know. They were talking about, obviously on Prodigy, he was on Prodigy as the hologram, but that's easy because it's just your voice, you're animated. So what is a new live action hologram going to be 1,000 years in the future? Q said he made himself look a little old to kind of look equal to Picard, because of course Q's form isn't human, so why would he have changed? Why would he have aged? Technically, he should have just been able to pop back into the younger Q body, but so he, but this isn't even that. This is a hologram. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there was an episode of TNG, right? All Good Things. Wasn't it All Good Things where Data put the gray in his hair because even though he's an android, he didn't age. He wanted to look the part of someone that had been in existence as long as he had. So, you know what? They're both, Data. The only difference between Data and the Doctor is that Data has physical form, but they're both basically computer, artificial intelligence. They're both technically AI. So I don't know. Maybe he's going to want to, age. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how they play that. But I'm joining Robert Picardo. We've got some alumni like Mary Weissman, Oded Farr. I don't know. Just loved him from The Mummy, ever since The Mummy. He's returned. The Admiral's returning, as well as more Jet Reno. Tig Notaro is also returning. She is going to be fantastic because she always is. She is one of my favorite characters, and I'm so glad that they decided to bring her back. But I want to see a show of hands. Who actually thought Starfleet Academy was going to take place in Discovery's timeline, in Discovery's future? For some reason, I think just calling it Starfleet Academy and the fact that they talked about it so much on TNG, and I just feel like the Starfleet Academy is so connected to earlier times because they talked about, Boothby and, Wesley. It just feels, I just kind of felt like they were going to go back. They were going to jump backwards and do Starfleet, Academy close to the original timeline. But no, they're staying in Discovery's future. So all of these fantastic alumni are being joined by Holly Hunter and Paul Giamatti. Can you believe that? So the other thing that the Random Red Shirt podcast was talking about was whether or not Paul Giamatti is going to be playing a villain. Again, there is literally nothing. IMDb is crickets. It just looks like it's going to be happening in 2026. I couldn't see anything about whether or not they're taping, because that's the thing. IMDb, if you have IMDb Pro, you can actually see if there's a if they have a production schedule up, if the show's actually in post, pre, or in production. But in true Paramount CBS keeping everything under their hats form, there is absolutely nothing on IMDb Pro that I could share. Unfortunately, the other funny thing about IMDb Pro is that you can actually edit other people's information. Like when I was doing background work, if I was in something as a background actor, I could go in and add it to my profile, and I could actually make changes to that show and everything. So technically, if I didn't want to get kicked off of IMDb Pro, things have to go past the producers of the show, but I could probably, lose my membership if I typed in something like, I want Connor Trenier to be Trip Tucker, or, like if I added him to the cast, that would probably not go over well. But who's to say that they don't have holograms of top engineers? I mean, the first engineer on the first Warp 5 engine, why wouldn't you have a hologram to teach? I don't know. I think it's a great idea. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I think, but I was just thinking about that today. I'm like, could I actually add cast members to this? And how long would it take for somebody to realize that I added somebody I shouldn't have? And Chris, I did see you raise your hand. Yeah, see, it's good to know that I was not alone thinking that it was not going to be taking place in Discovery's time period. But that's okay, because you know what? That could just possibly mean some Saru, and you can never get enough Dougie Jones. So that could just mean the return of Saru, or anybody else, or Book. Oh my God, I would love to see more Book. So you know what? It definitely leaves the window open for some of our Discovery favorites to pop in and check in on Tilly, or, guest lecture. Stamets would be a great guest lecturer, don't you think? I wouldn't mind seeing some Stamets. So, Spore Drive, guest lecture. Yes. So I'm really looking forward to it. I did put a poll on X, and it was really interesting. It started out for a little while. The people that are excited about Starfleet Academy were really blowing everybody out of the water, but the more the votes came in, the less of a lead. And out of 27 votes, 77.8% are excited, 7.4% are not, and 14.8% basically get back to me after it airs, because they're going to reserve their opinion. I don't know. Do you guys think that people are kind of trekked out? Is that possible? Have we hit a wall? We all know that the next Star Trek 4 from the 2009 series is supposed to be happening finally. And I think a lot of people, including myself, I think are disappointed that because we've got Starfleet Academy coming out, that means Legacy's been backburnered for God knows how long. Of course, we still have Section 31 to look forward to. There was a trailer on IMDb. I was doing research. I didn't get a chance to make sure that it was real, but it looks like it was the actual official trailer. Because there's something that I learned. There's people out there that make fake trailers, which is fine. Some of them are absolutely historically funny, and some of them are just like, oh, I really wish that was happening. But I think the Section 31 trailer was for reals that I saw, but I didn't even listen to it because I was prepping for the show. So I thought I could build a whole show on Starfleet Academy, but there's so little information. I love Holly Hunter, though. I'm really looking forward to seeing Holly Hunter. If anybody's ever seen her, Saving Grace was a fantastic show. Saving Grace was an absolutely fantastic show, and if it is anywhere available to stream, and you want to get modern Holly Hunter, I highly recommend Saving Grace. It was pretty stinking cool. I really enjoyed that one. Paul Giamatti. he's one of those, he's a character actor. He's been everywhere. But if you sat down and put a gun to my head right now, I'd be like, what? There really is a lot to keep up with, and the Trek universe is huge. Uncle Hairball, you're absolutely right. There is so much to keep up with, and it's hard. It's hard. That's what, but that's why I've always said that there's plenty of room for as ever many people want to do shows as possible, because there's just so much to cover. I mean, I basically just cover everything on my own, whatever I feel like covering, which is nice. And it's a lot of fun, and you guys get to, kind of chime in if you want, on what, you guys want to see. I always love to hear from you. But there's just so much, that you can like pick a niche and just do a show on a single topic, or a single show, or a single something. So yeah, the universe is huge, which also means, again, that you don't all have to like everything that's out there. We all know I am not a huge fan of Voyager, and that's okay, because I like pretty much everything else. Pluto TV last month, I guess in honor of Star Trek's anniversary month, they had a channel that was literally all Star Trek movies all the time. And there were plenty of nights that I fell asleep to either the TOS movies or the 2009 movies. I would have fallen asleep to First Contact if First Contact had ever lined up right, but it was always something I didn't want to, like Nemesis, which I like from a standpoint of Riker and Troy finally got together, but the rest of it was very heavy, and I just don't want to fall asleep to Data blowing himself up. It's hard to say if we were checked out with how long it takes for them to release shows we usually are so happy with. That's an excellent point, Chris. That's true. But see, that's the other thing. Could you just get tired of waiting? Because then that's the flip side. All right, so it's not coming out bam, bam, bam to exhaust us. But it's like, all right, because if it's not coming out until 2026, there's going to be a bit of a Trek drought, except for Strange New Worlds, and the last season of Lower Decks. Can't forget the last season of Lower Decks. I can't believe it's going to be the last season of Lower Decks. I hope somebody somewhere either picks it up or they change their mind, because Lower Decks, I mean, how much do we love Lower Decks? Lower Decks. It's fantastic. It's so great. And forever and always, I will always think of Trip Tucker Sprinkles whenever I see a Sprinkles vending machine, which is a cupcake vending machine. So my first one in California, they have them in Harry Reid Airport, which is the new name of Las Vegas's airport. They changed it from McCarran. So yeah, there is a vending machine called Sprinkles, and every time I see it, I think Trip Tucker Sprinkles. Okay, I mean, you guys have any opinions, anything that you're looking forward to in Starfleet Academy? Are we thinking that there are going to be hologram classes with some of our favorite alumni coming back? Picard teaching something. You think they're going to get that I don't want to say silly, but are they going to throw that much nostalgia at us? That's a better way to put it. Are they going to throw a lot of nostalgia at us, get us thinking about it? I don't know. Yes, the waiting is hard. Anticipation is the worst, especially if you're let down. So far, haven't been let down. I've enjoyed everything new. For one reason or another, I've absolutely loved everything that's new. So, really looking forward to Starfleet Academy. And the other thing I like about it is, here's the other thing. When Deep Space Nine came out and everybody was like, ew, what do you mean they're on a space station? It's Star Trek. They're supposed to be trekking. So Starfleet Academy, is technically in San Francisco. I'm sure Tilly will be taking her classes on missions and such like they did in Discovery. But how much traveling? Yeah, well, that was the whole point. Believe it or not. That's where I was going with that, Uncle Hairball. So you win the gold star for figuring out that's where I got that from. Or that was my intention. So gold star for you. So yeah, so they're not trekking anywhere. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go with this. Are we going to get to see people I want to see people taking the Kobayashi Maru. If they don't open the show with somebody failing the Kobayashi Maru, I will be very disappointed. Is it predictable? Yes, but I definitely want to see it. I want to see one regular like, because it's Kirk cheated and Boimler took it 12 gazillion times. I just want to see one person just take the damn test. Like, this is it. Just fail the test. Oh wait, didn't Savick failed it? Commander Savick failed it, but I want to see somebody else. I want to see somebody else fail the Kobayashi Maru. But yeah, I definitely, at least, if not in the first episode, at some point, somebody needs to take the Kobayashi Maru. I want to know that the Kobayashi Maru test, the no-win scenario, has survived for over 1,000 years. I would like to know. And if they're doing a Starfleet Academy, I think we should find out if the Kobayashi Maru test is still a thing with the same name. I mean, all those brave souls that died. And for those of you that don't know, not that it's canon because it is in a novel, but there's an entire Enterprise novel called Kobayashi Maru, which tells the story of the no-win scenario. And spoiler alert, it's Archer's decision. The fate of the Kobayashi Maru and the no-win scenario is Archer's decision. So basically, Archer is the impetus for the no-win scenario and creating that test. Let's see. They always talk about survival training. Yep, that's true. I just finished watching Silent Enemy on Heroes and Icons the other night, and they talked about survival training for Malcolm, and I know Trip talks about his survival training, so that's true. Maybe we'll see some survival training. Good point, Chris. Chris gets a gold star for the night, too. I should have... Hold on. I don't know if I have... Hold on a second. Let's see. Ooh. Hold on a second, guys. I like playing with this stuff. Give me a second. You guys hear that? Gold stars for everybody. Anyway, sorry. I thought it was being more bigger than that. Where did you see a container ship named Kobayashi Maru? Inquiring minds want to know, Uncle Hairball. Did I just see a cat? My biggest thing with my cat, I love that my cats come and hang out and say hi to you guys. My fear is that they hide, and I think that they've left, and they haven't left. They've just hidden. So I lock them in the office, and then I'm all curled up in bed, and then I just hear them meowing to be let out. Like, Trip just realized that I was talking about him, and he just came out of hiding. And I thought I heard Reed. Reed! The one thing I have learned owning a tuxedos, he's Reed's my second one. They are mouthy. They are mouthy. Reed is a talker. Reed is an absolute talker. Every morning demanding his breakfast. Hi, Trip. Trip heard me talking about Reed, so Trip had to come up and make another appearance, even though he's not quite fully in this dimension, and he keeps phasing in and out. Baltimore, 8 years ago. Wow. That is pretty cool, though, seeing something named Kobayashi Maru. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I am looking forward to Starfleet Academy, because obviously everybody that we've ever Ooh, sorry guys. Everybody that we've ever known. See, this is live. Proof that it's live. Everybody that we've ever known, they've all gone through Starfleet Academy. All of our favorites have gone through Starfleet Academy, so it'll be fun to see what it was like for them. Are there going to be Nick Laternos? Are there going to be Wesley Crushers? What kind of, who survives? Who, it'll just be, survives as in doesn't quit, not survives as in Nick Laterno came up with a stupid idea and people died. Oh, you saw it on Facebook. If you know, you know. Of course, if you know, you know. I love that, Robert. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I love those posts where you're just like, yeah, I see this. I see a Star Destroyer in the clouds. And I get it. Some of them I don't know. Some of them I feel like because my friends post them, I feel like I should know them. That's annoying. And you're like, everybody else is like, ah. And you look at this post like, what the hell is it supposed to mean? Trip, what did you just do? What did you, come on. Okay. Yeah, but I have seen a couple of those with like an Enterprise in the clouds or a Death Star in the clouds, that kind of thing. But yeah, I am really, so like I said, I'm looking forward to Starfleet Academy. It's going to be a long wait. You should have seen my face when I found out how long I was going to have to wait to see the second part of Mission Impossible. Because I didn't get to see the first part in theaters. So I get home, I finally get it, I finally stream it, and it's like the next one's like for another year. And I'm like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. I should have just waited and watched the first one closer to when the second one was coming out, had I known. So, but yeah, I'm really excited. And I hope you guys are too. And of course, the minute that it comes out, I will be we'll be talking about it because I'll dedicate a whole show to it. But hold on for a second. Bear with me, guys. I want to see something real quick. Okay. So, okay, great. So, I just wanted to check something. Oh yeah, those when you see it things. Yeah, I'm not great with those either. Unclearable. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. What I hate is the people that spoil those puzzles and stuff. Okay, Uncle Hairball. Those are important. Absolutely. I have family members that need breathing treatments on multiple, so yep. So I just realized after the end of last show that we didn't. Oh no, wait, never mind. I take it back. I take back what I was going to say because I'm wrong. Oh my gosh. My brain has not been functioning very well today. My brain and my computer have kind of both been on a mini vacation today. And they just decided they didn't feel like coming back from the weekend. I love you too, Trip. You want to give me a kiss? Oh, there's my good boy. He's the only one that gives kisses. Everybody else cuddles and does other things, but Trip's a kisser. He's been a kisser since I adopted him. I'll tell Trip, a friend of mine in Florida posted, this poor guy went to an adoption event in Florida a few years ago. And my friend who worked for the shelter posted on Facebook that not one person gave this little guy a look. So Paul took him home to keep fostering him. And I said, are you serious? Nobody gave this poor guy a look. And Paul told me all about him. And my friends happened to be making a car trip down to Florida because they have their timeshare in Disney. So she said, yeah, we'll pick him up for you. So my friends actually picked him up in Florida, and they live in State College, PA. Well, not technically. They live in Bellefonte, Pennsylvania, home of the one and only Jonathan Frakes. They live in Bellefonte. And so on their way back to Bellefonte, I met them in Lancaster, PA, and took Trip home with me, and he's just been a big love bug ever since. He likes to give hugs too. But yeah, he's a sweetheart. And in all the years that he's lived here with Reed, they have not become friends. They have not become besties, but then again, they have not had a shuttle pod moment. So, okay. Uncle Hairball, if you're not coming back, I'm really sorry because we are at the 34-minute mark, and I think that does it because thanks to Paramount, I didn't have much to talk about except that we're excited. And Chris and I have both admitted that we thought that Starfleet Academy was not going to be taking place in the Discovery timeline, but we're okay with it. So I'm excited about it. I hope you guys are excited about it. As news comes out, we will definitely be talking about it. What am I going to be talking about next week? Don't know. But please think about your favorite horror movies starring Star Trek actors. Doesn't have to even be starring Star Trek with Star Trek actors. I watched a weird one with Bakula. I can't even remember the name of. Oh yeah, I have a quick Bakula story. Friend of mine Friday night texts me out of the blue. I haven't talked to him in a little while. And all he texts me is the front cover of a playbill. It's a play about Lincoln, and Lincoln is being played by Scott Bakula. And he was there. And he, of course, goes, and it's closing on October 13th. And it's in Baltimore, DC. It's in the DC Kingdom of the Spiders. There you go. Have watched it, would watch it again. Nancy, that's a classic one. That is a Lord of Illusion. That's the one with Bakula. Thank you, Robert. Yeah, I wasn't that impressed, but Bakula was in it. It was bad. So he went. I am not that far from DC, but in the next 7 or 8 days, I cannot get my butt down there to go see Bakula, and I really wanted to, and I was like, how dare you? I was totally jealous. Oh, Chris, you don't have to Google. Well, you've watched my old shows. Every year for Halloween, I do a Halloween episode. You'll get a whole list from there, too. And I am way more fun than Google. But, yeah, besides the ones I mentioned, Nicole DeBoer did Prom Night 4 and Cube. Cube I highly recommend. Prom Night 4 is exactly what it should be. The sequel to the sequel to the sequel of Prom Night, and the original Prom Night with Jamie Lee Curtis was really great. Trying to think what else. Connor did a really bad one, and it's still in my Amazon. To show you how little I use my Amazon Prime to like watch things, it's still in my Amazon Prime list. One of my old it's called A Good Day to Die, which is funny because Connor's in it, but it's not a good day. It's not a good movie, but Connor's in it. Connor also did Dark. Thanks, Chris. Connor also did Dark Harbor, which is the project he worked on with Mark Cartier. It is fantastic. It is also on Amazon. I highly recommend it. It's well written, and it's a suspense. It's a suspense thriller, and it's really good. Trying to think what else. JG did a couple, like Prophecy 2, I think was the one JG was in for 5 minutes. And there's another one and I can't think of the name of it. But yeah, between my list and Google, you'll find some stuff. And I will tell you there's absolutely, and again, Facebook memories, because we're getting close to Halloween. Yes, he is excellent in Dark Harbor. I agree, Nancy. Dark Harbor is just really good. Dark Harbor overall is an excellent movie. And I loved that he got to work with, or not work with, because I don't think they ever had a scene together, but I love Joel McHale. And I was really excited to see him. It's going somewhere. And the train G we were out. Oh, yeah, there's one horror movie, and I've watched Terrifier. And there's one horror movie that I just won't watch again. And that's The Toolbox Murders, starring Wesley Orr. If you only know him from Land of the Lost and or Days of Our Lives, or you've met him at a Star Trek convention and you know he's a co-creator of Dragon Tales, go watch The Toolbox Murders. It's an old 1970s horror movie, and it freaked me the F out. Oh, technically anything Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because the narrations at the beginning and the end are done by John Larroquette. So anytime John Larroquette, and I think he's narrated all, but I think one of them I watched and I went, where's John Larroquette? But yeah, so technically any Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because John Larroquette narrates it. The beginning and the end, which is like the spookiest part, that whole thing making it seem so real. I know my nails are terrible. I've stopped doing them because I'm trying to get them to grow naturally, and it's not working. It's bad when you talk with your hands and your nails look like shit. I'm just saying. Trying to think of some others you guys should check out and see if I want to. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I spent 2 days in Phoenixville, PA, watching so many Jeff Combs things. Reanimator and Bride of Reanimator. They skipped the middle one. There's 3 Reanimators. We went right from Reanimator to Bride of Reanimator, but I'm pretty sure that there's one in between. I know there's 3, and I think the other one's in between. Or maybe not. Maybe it's the sequel. Yeah, there was he did a Masters of Horror, which was a TV series where he played Edgar Allan Poe. Anytime that Jeff Combs says Edgar Allan Poe is amazing. Trying to think. Oh God, there was this other really, 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 really horrible one. Yeah, Dark Harbor's really good, Chris. It's good. I told you, it's on Prime. It should be free. While you're on Prime, you should look up Clandestine too. That's a movie I was in. It's not a horror movie, but it's really good. Just saying, if you're on there. Sugar. Now I can't remember the name of it. It was like The Castle or something, and it was that was a really good Jeff Combs movie. I really enjoyed it, and I can't remember the Castle Freaks. That's what it was. Castle Freaks. Castle Freaks is really good. You guys should look. You should look that up. Yes, Erica is in Dark Harbor. Correct. So yeah, but look up Castle Freaks. That's really good. That's really good. That's a skin crawly. That's a skin crawling movie, and Jeff, of course, was really good in it. Well, look who finally decided to show up. Hi, Dave. How are you? Glad to see you. Better late than never. I can't call this fashionably late, though, because we're getting ready to wrap things up. But you all have a homework assignment, because this year for my Halloween show, you guys are going to pick the Star Trek actor movies I watch. Every year I watch movies with Star Trek actors in them. And this year you guys are going to pick the ones I'm going to watch. Hollywood Kills is on the list. Skin Crawly, you say? Yes, Castle Freaks is Skin Crawly. Absolutely. Castle Freaks with Jeffrey Combs is Skin Crawly. So you guys are going to get to pick. Hollywood Kills is definitely on my list, but you guys get to round out my list with a couple of suggestions. Nancy already threw out Kingdom of the Spiders, which, by the way, the only really good way to watch Kingdom of the Spiders is to watch the Riff Tracks version of it. And for anybody that doesn't know, everybody who remembers Mystery Science Theater 3000, where, Mike Nelson is shot into space and he has to watch bad movies with robots, and then they just riff on them. They just cut down the movies and make funny comments. Well, Mike Nelson, that's his real name, Mike Nelson, and the 2 guys that voiced Crow and Tom Servo, have taken the show on the road. They call it oh my God, I just drew a blank. They call it Riff Tracks, and they take it on the road. They've done live things. You can actually go into, it's a Fathom event. You can go into theaters and watch it, but you can also rent them. And they've done both Kingdom of the Spiders and Night of the Lupus, which, like I said, had DeForest Kelley. There was one with Leonard Nimoy. Leonard Nimoy was in the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That's right. Leonard Nimoy, he was a prick, but he was in the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers. He was good. He was good at being a prick, though. Yes, Dave gets it. So both Night of the Lupus and Kingdom of the Spiders are fantastic to watch with Riff Tracks, because it's really fun, and because those guys are such geeky nerds. There are definitely Star Trek references. You guys, you want to do watch parties? We'll see, because I know Amazon Prime will let you do watch parties. I don't want to do a watch party of something like that we can't do a watch party of. As long as it's legal to do the watch party and not me streaming something over Zoom that is possible copyright infringement. because believe it or not, I almost lost my Comcast account because I downloaded music that was too new and it had trackers on it. And Comcast literally sent me an email and said, we know you downloaded music illegally. It was a Colby Calais song. But like, we know you downloaded music illegally. If you do it again, you're losing your Comcast account. So, yeah, I'm very, so I am very, very aware of, watch parties with Amazon Prime or Disney or whatever, where the app lets you do it because everybody that logs on has an account. You all just want to watch a movie together. I don't have problems with that. But it's like, if you guys all wanted to watch Hollywood Kills and ask me to stream it on a Zoom, that I wouldn't do, because that's not, not that anybody who's done Hollywood Kills would care, but I'm just using that as an example. I'm just playing by the rules when it comes to stuff like that. I think you guys all know this, or maybe you don't. They pulled down my tribute to Connor, my Connor Trenier profile. They pulled it down because that Club Med commercial that I showed you had a pop song in it. And they thought I was using the pop song without permission. But then, so they pulled it down for like a minute. I think it might have been back when I was doing Facebook. They pulled it down for like a minute, realized that the rights had been taken care of by Club Med. And it was a commercial and I could air a commercial. So they put me back up. But literally like that, I was down because of the music in Connor's Club Med commercial. So trust me when I tell you, I respect copyright laws and I'm overly careful. But yeah, if you find something on Prime, and everybody's got Prime, like I said, like, if anybody wants to rent Hollywood Kills and do it there, and rent it that way. Like I said, I don't know if Dominic's going to get a residual check for it, but what the hell, right? Yeah. So anyway, that is your homework assignment. So you can DM me, post to my socials, however you want to do it is totally fine. But yeah, let me know what you want to watch. And the reason I'm telling you about it 3 weeks in advance is because I might have to take 3 weeks worth of time to watch whatever movies you guys pick. So until next week, and whatever the topic may be, thank you all for tuning in, even those of you that came late, Dave Gregory. I'm always glad that you're here. And I hope you all have a stellar week. And until I see you again, please remember to live long and prosper.
Listening to the NX